La Bressande Du Chateau. And first, I want to apologize to the family who may never hear this for pronouncing their name wrong. This ancient fortified chateau dates back to the 12th century and has remained the property of the same family since its origins. Unlike many other French nobles who were guillotined during the French Revolution, this family was actually protected by the townspeople because in the family's history, they always treated the townspeople fairly. So unlike many other nobles throughout France, they didn't lose their heads. There's a lot of pictures and things that are owned by the family throughout the centuries. It's quite elegant, but I'm also sure it takes a lot of work to try to maintain the history, yet live in the modern world. We had a tour by the owner and a small snack, and of course got to test their wine. We then went outside to an area in the gardens and had an amazing lunch actually provided by the tour guide. We did a little walking around in the wooded area and came across an old family graveyard. The stones were so weathered that it was hard to read the inscriptions, and I'm sure none of them came out on the pictures. The vineyard estate comprises of 32 acres, of which one-third are Premier's Crus, producing about 80% white wines. I really don't like white wines, but when you visit these places, you gotta partake, even if it's just to be courteous. They may live in an old setting, but they are on the grid, and they sell a lot of their wines online. then onto the vineyards of Turcheim for a walk through the grape fields. Archaeological finds indicate the area was already inhabited during the time of ancient Rome, when the Germanic tribes invaded and crossed the Rhine, and a group called the Thurgni, if I'm saying it correctly, settled here, and that's probably where the town's name came from. During the High Middle Ages, and I'm not sure what High Middle Ages means, Turcheim was listed as belonging in part to the Abbey of Munster. I won't make any comments here, but I wonder if Hermann was nobility. I learned that a cavalry is a monumental public crucifix, sometimes encased in an open shrine upon which you can pray for a good crop. We noticed that there were rose bushes at the end of some of the rows of the grapevines, and what we found out was that they are used as an early warning system. Roses and grapevines typically have the same type of soil and sun requirements, and in addition, both are prone to the infestation of a fungus known as powdery mildew. If this fungus appeared on the roses, the vines are then sprayed with sulfur to prevent the grapes from succumbing to the mildew. Downy mildew is another fungus that attacks the green parts of the grapevine, and if detected on a rose bush, the grapevines are immediately sprayed with a solution of copper sulfate and lime. Another historic reason for the planting of roses dates to when they used to use horses to pull the plows. The rose thorns were thought to deter the horses from hitting the posts at the end of the roads. In 1871, at the end of the Franco-Prussian War, the town with the rest of Alsace became part of the German Empire. But then in 1918, again after World War I, it reverted back to France. Turcheim is one of the few remaining towns in France with a municipal night watchman. He makes rounds at 10 p.m. between the 1st of May and October 31st, and on 3 Saturdays preceding Christmas. This is mostly maintained for tourist reasons. The position commemorates a 13th century event in which the night watchman prevented a fire. We attended a white wine tasting, not being a fan of white wine, but you don't want to insult. So my traveling partner got my share too.